Wow, that storm is really big. I hope the power doesn't go out.
Yeah, don't worry, because if the power goes out, I'll just make an oil lamp.
An oil lamp? Lamps can use oil?
Yeah, they've been using oil lamps for centuries. All you need is a little bit of heat and a little bit of oil, and it lasts a really long time.
Really? How does it work? How does it last for such a long time and so little fuel?
Well, with the little bit of heat, you use a little bit of oil at a time, and I can show you how it works.
Okay, I'll help you make one.
Okay.
Can you burn a large amount of oil with a small flame? Why doesn't the wick of an oil lamp catch on fire? How does an oil lamp use oil as a fuel source? Let's find out.
Hello! Welcome to Mookung's Simple Science. Today, we're working with fire. As you can see, I have my fire extinguisher here in case things get out of control. But they won't get out of control, so let's move to your first experiment. I have here some vegetable oil. And I'm going to use this vegetable oil to make an oil lamp, similar to what has been used for centuries. You see, oil lamps are very, very useful, but it's not as easy as you think to make fire work. You need a couple of things. For example, you need sufficient heat. So let's take a look at that now in our first experiment. I have here a candle. There's my candle. And this is vegetable oil, which is a flammable liquid. Now, usually it's very dangerous to put a flame next to a flammable liquid. But if there's not enough heat, there will be no ignition of that flammable liquid. Watch it here. Putting it in. Look, the flame goes out. That's because for this amount of flammable liquid, there's not enough heat produced by this flame. Another thing you need for fire to work properly is fuel. Let's take a closer look in our second experiment. Here's some paper. This is an example of fuel. As you can see, from this lighter, there's enough heat produced, and the fire starts burning right there, as you can see on the paper. Very dangerous. That's why I've got my fire extinguisher. But we're safe now. Fire can get out of control when there's enough fuel and there's enough heat. As you can see, it's burnt all through that paper. We can control fuel and heat, though, in our oil lamp. What I'll do is, with my third experiment, I'll create a wick with this paper. If I put the wick in the oil in this container here, the paper acting as a wick will soak all that oil up. Can you see that? It's soaking it up. Now, when I light the wick will burn. However, because there's enough heat, as the oil is drawn up the paper, the heat will transform that oil into a vapor. And as you'll find, it's not actually the paper or the wick that burns, it's the vapor. Let's see how that works. As you can see, first, the paper is burning. But as the oil is drawn up, the paper will stop burning, and just the vapor from the oil will burn. Can you see there? The paper, if it was not surrounded by the oil, would continue to burn because it's a fuel source. Okay, so let's put that out. What did we learn today? We learned that fire can be very dangerous. However, it requires a couple things to make it work. One of those things is heat. If there's not sufficient heat, the fire won't work. Secondly, it needs a fuel source, like paper. If there's enough heat and enough fuel source, the fire will work. Finally, we used a flammable liquid like oil, which changed into a vapor when there was enough heat, and it was actually the vapor that burned, not the wick. Be careful when you use fire, because sometimes it can get a little bit smoky. See you again next time. Bye.